addition, the United States federal government should implement a policy to increase water desalination technology. Cool? All right. Background points. The first one of this is that oil has been a large source of our power and our energy for using in power plants and for creating more energy. Two, fresh water is a premium resource, and it leads the ability and the access of us to be able to have water leads to more resource wars. Three, just to prove that, Saudi Arabia, which is obviously very influential in oil, has committed 20% of their GDP to water desalination, which shows both how important it is and how much money they're spending on it. Four, according to the Wall Street Journal, within 10 years, the cost of technology has cut water desalination tech in half in the last 10 years, and that if we were to just increase our spending on that we would be able to get that number even lower still. Five is that 1,000 gallons, in the United States, 1,000 gallons of desalinated water costs approximately $3 versus $79,045 for bottling water, and this is just the cost of obtaining it, not of like putting it in bottles and putting it on a shelf. So six, it's easier to move water from coastally in than it is to move it from rivers out. You can use Nevada as an empiric that they said that it's actually easier for them to, instead of shipping it from a river to Las Vegas, actually ship it from the ocean after it's been desalinized. And that this is useful for people, for drinking water, and also for agriculture. So the plan. United States federal government will fund desalination technology at universities. This is by normal means. We reserve the right to clarify. All right, solvency. One, this creates better innovation it makes the U.S. a world leader as we are able to encourage research at the university level. Two, this decreases the risk of waterborne diseases and other conditions that are caused by lack of water. Three, this means better, especially for small businesses and better middle class, and increases tax revenue as costs decrease and as innovation increases. Four, that the U.S. economy will increase, and this extends to the world economy because we're such a large contributor, and that we are key to the world economy. And five, that this creates better infrastructure in the United States for water. Anything? No? Yeah?
You can ask me cross-sections.
Okay, we gotta keep going. All right, so first advantage is ahead of innovation. Uniqueness is that we are already using desalination technology. We're the best source to be able to increase technology. That we're the only nation in the major triad that actually does research and practical application at our universities. Europe only does the theoretical, and Japan just doesn't do very good research at all. So only the United States, only more money will increase this technology, the opportunity to innovate. The United States is uniquely in a position to help the rest of the world because through this technology we make it cheaper and we can make it more available to countries that have a hard time being able to afford it and aren't in a position to do any research at all. So the link is that the government funds research that heads innovation. There are two impact scenarios here. The first is that this increases innovation. So one, this leaves money to universities for research. As evidenced by the 5 to 9% the universities are going to have to cut because of the sequester, this is increasing money to universities and giving them the opportunity to continue with research. Two, research leads to innovation. This is connected to small business because when universities are able to reduce the cost of research and development, that companies can benefit off of that and not have to spend so much time on startup costs, and will instead be able to jump right into their industry, which means that university is the only place to be able to do this research most effectively, and then an increase in technology means that we'll be able to produce agriculture and make them more sustainable globally as we're able to make this technology cheaper for the rest of the world as well. This stabilizes the global world market as we're able to make water technology cheaper. Innovation is better. Innovation improves the economy in the United States into the world market. So the second impact is just the economy, that this increases research to universities and the education that they gain there just as students. That too, this leads to small business oriented as they save startup costs, and three, this strengthens the middle class because it gives them opportunities both to get educated and also to be able to be employed. 10% of businesses are small businesses that employ 10% of the economy is made up of the U.S. economy is made up of small businesses. This actually employs 90% of the U.S. People and workers. So we can strengthen the middle class, we can strengthen small business. This means literally more Americans are going to be able to go to work. This allows us to be able to afford to be able to buy internationally, which means that we're actually going to also be able to reduce the risk of conflict as we create better relationships internationally through increased trade. Second advantage is preventing disease. First one, uniqueness. This increases increases the probability of stopping terrible diseases.
Diseases are prevalent in the status quo.
Diseases are prevalent in the status quo. This is things like SARS, swine flu, cholera, and especially in third world countries, basic things like diarrhea from bacteria that they get in their water. This happens currently in the United States as well. You can look to Alabama. There are 27,000 cases of waterborne diseases there. This is prevalent in the United States, and it's increasing as well. The United States is not has had inadequate policies to address this in the status quo, which means people are here in the U.S. are dying, but they're also dying in the rest of the world as well. The United States government needs to take action, and that specifically in places like Africa, you can see that children have diseases that they're dying from because of bad water. When you have no other opportunity, you have no other alternative and you have to drink water, and it's heavily laden with bacteria, you have an extremely high risk of disease. It also has the risk of developing mosquitoes that live in the water and create malaria as well. So the plan is going to increase access to clean water. Internally, this increased access means that there's fewer waterborne diseases and diseases caused from lack of water or bad water, basically. Two is that this decreased waterborne diseases means that people don't have to die and can improve their quality of life. It also reverses the trend of the increasing prevalence of diseases and has an immediate 100% probability and impact. This also reduces infant mother mortality as people, and especially third world countries, continue to have children, but have to give them bad water so that their children end up dying. This decreases infant mortality and mother mortality during childbirth. So the impacts here is that this increases quality of life. People are diseased, so they're not having to suffer, and they're not living in sickness. Two, that this decreases deaths, which means that people aren't dying, especially children, which is the worst kind of death because it's just really sad. And then the impacts are extremely high on time frame and probability. That we can literally help save people's lives from the time that they are born on through the rest of their life because of the technology that we're able to establish in the United States and the universities through our funds to make it more available for the rest of the world.
So, any comments on that?
Yeah.
So, first question, your plan is literally just increase funding for this tech to be developed at universities?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's also
it's going to have the impact of increasing innovation, which increases actually real world solvency.
Okay. So, granted, so the plan is actually just to increase funding.
Okay. Are we implementation or funding?
We're providing funding to universities.
But obviously that's going to lead to innovation, et cetera.
Also, what's your first impact module on innovation?
On innovation, the first impact is that it increases innovation in the universities and increases tech that allows things like agriculture and the global market to be able to be sustainable.
Okay. And what's the uniqueness for your economic plans? What is the story about why the economy will improve? Like, why is the economy on the right now?
Because small businesses are key to the economy. That since they make up such a large portion of who employs our workers, they have the best resources. Improving them offers the most greatest bang for your buck.
Okay, cool, thanks.
All right. So 3 off. Versus T and implement interpretation is implement assumes an existing policy, so they have to implement an existing policy. But actually, they do a new policy. So standards is one. Literature-based desalination has already been discussed in a 1996 Act, so it's key to predictably to center the plan around this. Two is ground. Like if they get to pick a new policy, then they can do anything. Forces generics and basically T's. And procedurals to happen during the debate. And the third standard is education. We can learn best about policy making when we discuss existing policies and like the disadvantages and advantages of them. So and fourth is affects T. Their policy only effectually desalinizes means that that new policies are abusive. New policies are abusive.
What it means is they can leverage off rents from